Why quitting at month 11 is the most common creator mistake. There's a predictable point where momentum is about to turn, and it's exactly when most creators walk away. There's a graveyard of creator stores out there, and almost none of them died from a bad idea. They died from timing. If you plot when abandoned stores actually go quiet, last product upload, last post, last login, the deaths don't cluster at month 1, when everything is hardest and least rewarding. They cluster around month 9 through 12, a stretch we've started calling the month 11 wall. That's the exact window where audience trust, search visibility, and repeat buyer behavior typically start compounding. And it's also, almost cruelly, the exact window where creators run out of patience and quit. If you understand why this happens, you can see it coming in your own habits months before it hits, and do something about it instead of becoming another closed storefront. The math behind why month 11 feels like month 1. Here's the part nobody tells you when you create your store. Early revenue and month 10 revenue can look nearly identical on a chart, even though the underlying business is completely different. In month 1, every dollar comes from a stranger who found you cold, a post, a DM, a lucky share. By month 10, if you've kept showing up, a meaningful share of that same revenue is coming from people who've seen you before. A follower who almost bought in June and finally does in October. A customer who buys your second product because the first one delivered. The dollar amount can be flat, while the composition underneath it has completely changed for the better. Most creators don't segment their own revenue this way, so they only see the flat top line and conclude the model isn't working, right as it's quietly starting to. This is the trap. The visible metric, monthly revenue, lags the real metric, trust density in your audience, by roughly the length of a typical buying consideration cycle, which for a $30 $80 digital product is often 2 to 4 months. Someone who first sees your offer in month 6 might not buy until month 9. If you quit in month 8 because month 6 through 8 looked flat, you never collect on the interest you already built. You paid the entire cost of building an audience and then left before the invoice came due. The tell. If total revenue is flat, but the number of people buying a second thing from you, replying to your emails, or arriving from search instead of social is quietly climbing, you're not stuck. You're 1 to 3 months from a visible jump. The 4 warning signs that you're about to quit. Quitting a store almost never happens as one clean decision. It's a slow fade, and it follows a recognizable order. Recognizing which stage you're in is the single most useful thing you can do this month. Stage 1 and 2 are recoverable in an afternoon. Stage 3 is recoverable in a week. Stage 4 is where stores actually die. Not because the creator decided to shut down, but because enough silence passed that restarting felt like starting over, so they never restarted at all. What's usually different at month 11 that you can't see yet? A handful of things typically shift under the surface around this point, none of which show up as a satisfying spike. Search starts sending traffic. A product page, a blog post, or an FAQ answer you wrote in month 3 finally gets indexed and starts pulling in people who never saw your original posts. Your email list stops being cold. A list built slowly over 10 months of genuine value opens and converts differently than a list you email once and hope on. Word of mouth has a lag. Someone who bought in month 5 recommends you to a friend in month 9. That referral looks like random new customer in your dashboard. It isn't random at all. Your offer has quietly improved. 10 months of buyer questions and support messages should have sharpened your product description, your pricing, and your delivery. Improvements a brand new creator doesn't have access to yet. The stores that make it aren't the ones with the best month 1. They're the ones that were still standing in month 12. The maintenance mode fix. Do less, but don't do nothing. The advice, Just push through fails because it asks for more effort at exactly the moment your capacity for effort is lowest. The better fix is to deliberately shrink to a version of the business that survives on autopilot for a season, rather than one that demands the same intensity as launch week forever. That means fewer new products and more attention to the mechanics that don't need daily energy. Your FAQ page answering the questions you're tired of typing out, a discount code ready for a slow week, and an automated delivery flow so a sale at 2 a.m. doesn't need you awake to fulfill it. Store. Fans checkout hands buyers their download, course access, or meeting link automatically the moment they pay, which means the one part of the business that absolutely cannot go quiet, fulfillment, keeps running even when you're running on fumes. Pull up your last 90 days of sales and tag which buyers are repeat customers. Even 15% repeat is a real signal. Check whether any traffic is now coming from search or referral instead of only your own posts. Pick one underperforming product to retire or merge, instead of trying to fix all of them at once. Set a discount code ready to go for your next slow week, so a dip doesn't turn into a spiral. Reread 5 old customer messages. Real proof beats a mood every time. Block 2 hours, not 20. For this month's only task. One small improvement, not a relaunch. It also helps to look at what you're actually comparing yourself to. A lot of month 11 despair comes from measuring your quiet, real progress against someone else's highlight reel. It's worth spending 10 minutes with a live example store to see that even accounts that look effortless are built from the same repetitive blocks. A few products, a clear price, consistent delivery, not a single lucky viral post. When it actually is time to stop. None of this means every creator should grind forever on a product nobody wants. There's a real difference between quitting from exhaustion at the exact wrong moment and making a clear-eyed call that a specific offer isn't working. The test is simple. Are you flat on revenue but rising on trust signals, repeat buyers, replies, search traffic, or are you flat on both? If it's genuinely flat everywhere after real effort, that's a signal to change the offer, not necessarily the whole business. You can often keep the store, the audience, and the systems, and simply swap what you're selling through them. Reframe. This isn't working, and this product isn't working are different diagnoses. Only one of them means you should close the store. Make the boring months cost you nothing. The creators who make it past month 12 usually aren't more talented or better connected than the ones who quit. They just built a setup that didn't require constant reinvention to stay alive. That's the whole argument for keeping your infrastructure simple and durable from day one. One link, automatic delivery, and payments that land directly in your own account rather than a system you have to babysit. If you haven't already, it's worth comparing plans to make sure you're not paying platform fees on sales you make during the exact months when margin matters most. If any of this is stirring up store-specific questions, delivery, pricing tiers, or migrating an existing audience, contact support before you make a decision you can't easily undo. The stores that survive month 11 usually do it quietly, with nobody watching, which is exactly why nobody warns you it's coming. Now you know. And that alone puts you ahead of most of the creators who closed their storefront right before it was about to work. Key takeaways. Most creator stores don't fail from a bad product. They fail from quitting in the 9 to 12 month window, right before compounding usually kicks in. Revenue in month 10 looks almost identical to revenue in month 4 on paper, which is exactly why it feels like nothing is working. The real signal to watch isn't sales. It's repeat buyers, email replies, and search traffic quietly rising underneath flat revenue. Quitting is rarely one decision. It's 3-4 warning behaviors that build for weeks before the storefront actually goes dark. The fix isn't more hustle. It's a smaller, boring maintenance mode that survives the flat stretch instead of demanding it be exciting. Start your creator store free at store.fan.